He was a soldier, a statesman, and an emperor. A man of towering ambition and unmatched military genius. From the chaos of the French Revolution, he emerged as the most powerful man in Europe. He redrew borders, reshaped nations, and left a legacy that still echoes in law, warfare, and politics. But his rise was as spectacular as his fall. This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who crowned himself emperor, defied kings, and changed the course of world history. Chapter 1. A Corsican Birth. Napoleon Bonaparte was born on August 15, 1769, on the island of Corsica, just months after it was taken over by France. Though born to minor nobility, his family was not wealthy. At the age of 9, Napoleon was sent to mainland France to attend military school. He was mocked for his Corsican accent and outsider status, but he studied intensely, particularly in mathematics, history, and military strategy. By age 16, he graduated as a second lieutenant in the French army, just as France was on the brink of revolution. Chapter 2. The French Revolution and a Young Commander. The French Revolution began in 1789, unleashing years of chaos and civil war. Amid the bloodshed, Napoleon's talents began to shine. In 1793, he led the siege of Toulon against royalist forces and their British allies. His success there caught the attention of the revolutionary government. At just 24, he was promoted to brigadier general. In 1795, he famously saved the government from a royalist uprising in Paris, using cannon fire to disperse the crowd, earning him fame and command of the French army in Italy. Chapter 3. Conquest of Italy and Rise to Power. Napoleon's Italian campaign in 1796 to 1797 was a masterpiece of speed, strategy, and surprise. He defeated larger Austrian forces, liberated northern Italy, and imposed harsh peace terms. He looted art, reshaped governments, and became a hero in France. In 1798, he launched a campaign in Egypt to undermine British trade, winning the Battle of the Pyramids, but losing his fleet at the Battle of the Nile. Still, his image at home remained heroic. Sensing opportunity in the political instability of France, he returned in 1799 and staged a coup, declaring himself first consul of France. Chapter 4. The Emperor of the French. As first consul, Napoleon brought stability to France. He reformed the tax system, built infrastructure, and created the Napoleonic Code, a legal system that still influences modern law. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of the French in a lavish ceremony, placing the crown on his own head, a symbolic gesture of independence from the Pope and tradition. He built a centralized, efficient government and promoted merit over nobility, gaining loyalty from the middle class and army alike. But he didn't stop at reform. His eyes turned to Europe. Chapter 5. Master of Europe. From 1805 to 1809, Napoleon waged a series of wars across the continent, defeating Austria, Prussia, and Russia in legendary battles like Austerlitz, Jena, and Friedland. He dissolved the Holy Roman Empire, redrew national borders, and placed his relatives on the thrones of Europe. At the height of his power, Napoleon controlled most of Western and Central Europe, either directly or through allies. But his dominance made enemies at Periobory, Carriede, especially Bebri, Tataderi, Tamis May and Bain, which remained defiant. He responded with the Continental System, a trade blockade designed to cripple British commerce. It backfired, harming European economies and stirring resistance. Chapter 6. The Fatal Invasion of Russia. In 1812, Napoleon launched his most ambitious and disastrous campaign, the invasion of Russia. With over 600,000 men, it was the largest army Europe had ever seen. But the Russians refused to fight directly, retreating and burning their own land. Napoleon reached a ruined Moscow, only to be forced into a deadly winter retreat. Starvation, disease, and cold decimated his army. Fewer than 100,000 returned. The myth of Napoleon's invincibility was shattered. Chapter 7. Exile and Return. After the Russian disaster, his enemies rallied. In 1814, after a series of defeats, Napoleon abdicated and was exiled to the small island of Elba off the Italian coast. But in 1815, he escaped and returned to France in a daring move. His army rejoined him as he marched toward Paris, and for 100 days, he ruled again. Europe's powers responded swiftly. Chapter 8. Waterloo and Final Fall. On June 18, 1815, Napoleon faced the combined forces of Britain and Prussia at the Battle of Waterloo in modern-day Belgium. Despite a skilled campaign, his forces were overwhelmed. It was the end of his rule and of his empire. Napoleon surrendered and was exiled again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. There, under British guard, he spent the final 6 years of his life dictating his memoirs and reflecting on his legacy. Chapter 9. Death and Legacy. Napoleon died on May 5, 1821, likely of stomach cancer, though some suspect poisoning. He was buried on St. Helena, but later returned to France in 1840, where his tomb remains in Les Invalides in Paris. His legacy is massive and controversial. To some, he was a tyrant who caused the deaths of millions in his quest for power. To others, he was a genius who spread revolutionary ideals and modernized governments. He inspired both dictators and democrats. His Napoleonic Code influenced legal systems across the world. His military tactics are still studied in academies today. Closing thoughts. Napoleon Bonaparte rose from humble origins to shape the destiny of a continent. He ruled with brilliance and ambition, combining intellect, charisma, and ruthless drive. His rise and fall show the heights of human achievement and the limits of power. He was not just a man of his time, but a force of history itself. And though his empire faded, his name endures, carved into monuments, echoed in books, and remembered wherever history is told.